Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Martina. If this is your first time here, I make videos about medical school, life in China, lifestyle videos, vlogs, and anything that interests me or interests you. So consider subscribing, because I want to mark my 5-year anniversary in China by doing a Q&A video for you guys. I have been in China for 5 years. I have 1 more year left before I finish my medical degree. So I mean, by this time next year I would have already graduated. So I have less than a year left in China before I become a doctor. So yes, so you guys sent in some questions, some very juicy questions, so I hope to answer them in this video. First question: do you feel safe in China? I feel very safe in China. Security has always been very important to me when it comes to thinking of where I'm going to live, and luckily for me, China is safe. I must say, you can go out whenever you want to go out, but that doesn't mean you should go out late. And you can move around in public places without being scared of, attacks, or you can even you don't need to be so conscious of your belongings when you're outside, because no one is actually going to just come and grab it from you. Like, the country is very safe. There are cameras everywhere, and they have rules that are being implemented that makes the country safe to live in, I must say. When it comes to safety, China, I have to give China 100%. Like, okay, not 100% because nowhere is actually safe, entirely safe, but I have to give China like 99% for safety. Yes. Can you have a normal life in China, like date, go out to parties, in clubs and things like that? Of course you can. No one is going to stop you. Let me tell you, when you decide to go study abroad, when you're leaving home and leaving your family, one thing you're going to experience is freedom. You have the freedom to do everything and anything that you want to do. So you have to be very cautious and make very good decisions, because it's like your life has been given to you to go mold. If you want to go to the club, there are clubs. You can go parties, you can date whoever you want. Like, you can do whatever you want. It's free. Like, you can have a normal life, you can travel, there's no rule or there's nobody stopping you from doing whatever you want here. Hi, I would like to know if you ever dated a Chinese guy and how that was. Dating a Chinese guy. Well, the answer is no. Plain, simple, no. I have never, and would I ever consider it? I think I can date a Chinese guy that is not a Chinese guy that is, how do I say this? I think I can date a Chinese guy that is, based outside of China, that has been exposed to life outside of China. You get? Yes, something like that. But dating a Chinese in China that has not really been exposed, no. How are your colleagues? My colleagues, well, my classmates, they are amazing people. They are people from different parts of the world. You're going to experience different cultures. You're going to learn new things when you decide to study abroad, because everyone is coming with what they have learned, with different upbringings and habits. You're going to experience diversity, and it is beautiful in its own way. What do you think about relationships during your first year in China? If you come to China as a new student, or I think any country, as a girl, there are going to be so many guys asking you out in your first year. So many guys, okay, not just asking you out, but so many guys reaching out to you like, oh, there's a new student, let me show her around, let me do this, let me do that. There are going to be so many of them, and a lot of them will ask you out. But during this period, you also have to be very careful, because most of them don't want a serious relationship with you. They're just looking for someone to have fun with. And if you are new, personally, I would not advise that you should be in a hurry to get into a relationship. I mean, during your first year you can get into a relationship, but not in your first month or the second month. No, do not be in a hurry. If someone reaches out to you, take time, talk to the person, get to know the person before you actually consider being in a relationship with them. Because all these guys that will message you when you first come into the country, usually they won't keep messaging you for like 2 months or 3 months if they notice that you are not really interested. So take out some time, get to know the country, get to settle down in the city, get to know people around you. Because example, if you decide to date one of the guys that you meet in your first month, and then after a while you start seeing that, oh, there are other guys around that you rather be with, or just be very careful and make better decisions. Always remember that there's no rush when it comes to getting into a relationship here in China. I ran out of space on my memory card, so I am back. Any insecurities dating from another country? Not really. From my experience, I haven't dated anyone that is not from my country, but from what I have observed about, oh my god, I don't know if you guys can still hear me, the fireworks. But from what I have observed about people from other countries, I've realized that our values are different, our upbringings are different. What I consider as important, a lot of them don't consider it important because they were brought up differently. So it's not something I think I would be able to consider. But at the same time, I also believe in individual differences. Some people, although they may be from different countries, may have similar values, similar things that are important to them, and that is good. And every other thing you can just compromise and make it work out for the both of you. So how to prepare yourself for the next step, maybe considering furthering abroad, what to expect, what to do, what to know before it's too late. I advise you go see my video titled "Do Not Study in China, Watch This First." It will explain to you that in that video I gave the most important advice I can give to someone intending to study abroad or in China. But for now, I'll just say make sure you know where you want to go to when you're done with medical school, and also know the financial implications, how much it's going to cost you. So if you have like maybe 5 different places that you're considering going to, make sure you know how much it's going to cost you to actually be able to work there. Know everything that's important in the financial aspects. Also know all the exams that you need to write ahead of time, so you can start saving and getting study materials to prepare for it. Are you in a relationship? If you are, how is dating internationally? Well, I am in a relationship and I am not dating internationally, and I just gave my reasons when I spoke about having insecurities dating someone from another country. But I'm not saying you should not do it. You can do it as long as you guys have similar values. What is important to you is important to them. You guys can make it work. Don't mind me. This is just me. I like my Nigerian men. I don't want anybody else. Thank you. Do you ever get worried about the standard of education you received in China, seeing that you won't practice there? Like, do you think there are things that you might have been taught, that you might not have been taught, and you might need in a country you want to work in? When I was in my early years of medical school, I considered this, I thought about it. But during internship and interacting with my classmates that have gone to do their internship in different parts of the world, I keep up with them, and I'll just tell you what one of my friends says. She always tells me, I hope you're studying. The things that we actually learn here in China are so important. When she goes to the hospital and she's being asked questions and she cannot answer them, fireworks! When she's being asked questions in the hospital and she finds out that she cannot answer them, she goes back home and then she goes through the PPTs, our school giving PPTs, and she finds out that everything that she's been asked in the hospital, I hope you guys can hear me, She finds out that everything she finds out that everything she's been asked in the hospital is already in her PPT. These are things that we have already been taught, and this is not one person's experience. Different of my classmates have said the same thing. The things we have been taught are all important, and they are all similar things that are being asked of in different countries. And if at all there are things that we may not have been taught, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think the standard of education in China is what do you call it? I am not worried about the standard of education in China, because we are students. We are supposed to learn even more than we are being taught. A lot of our lecturers will advise you, go and read your books. These PPTs are not enough. Go and read your books. A lot of them will even, at the end of their PPTs, put some textbooks and say, go read these textbooks for more information. You cannot expect your teachers to give you everything. You're a student. It is your duty to learn. I think China gives you the best that they can, and one of the best things that China has done is giving students the opportunity to go back home for their internship. So when you've learned all your theoretical parts, you've attended classes, it's now time for you to put all those information to practice. And language barrier here in China, you have the opportunity to now go back home and practice all that you have learned. So as long as you study, and not just say I am studying, actually study to learn, not just to pass your exams. I'm telling you, what you're learning in China is good information. Study to learn, study your PPTs, and also put in the effort to study things that are not in your PPT. I'm planning to study in China this September. Aside from the advices that you've given in your previous videos, what other advice do you have for me? Particularly, I want to study medicine. Honestly, I think I have given every advice possible in my videos. The most I can do now is tell you to watch my vlogs. In my vlogs, I talk about my experiences, and then for you to think of how you can make those experiences better for you. Watch all my videos. I have said everything possible. Aside from your parents' money, how do you get personal money? It took me a long time to think of how I will be able to answer this question. I've been thinking about it for weeks. How would I answer this question? Most of my money is my parents' money, but personal money, I sell stuff back home and also here in China. That is how I get most of my personal money, and I offer services to people. Sometimes I sell food, but it's just mostly selling. When you find out that people do not have something, people do not have access to something, and you have access to it, you offer those services to them. That's basically what I do. I look for what people do not have, and I look for a way to provide it to them, and they pay me. How do you find traveling around China? Also, how do you manage to find the best locations to visit, and why did you consider them to be great if they were? Traveling China, personally, I go to YouTube and look for interesting places to travel in China. I usually start from the most popular cities: Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and I watch people's YouTube videos that have already been there. I find out places that I would like to visit in those cities, basically interacting with the locals. I have traveled to quite some cities here in China, but one of my best trips was my recent one to Panjin city. Panjin is just like 20 minutes away from my city by train. It's a very small city, but what made that trip the most exciting for me was the fact that I went with some Chinese locals. They showed me around. We went to places that I'm sure no foreigner has been to. We experienced things that if you come to Panjin as a tourist, you will not even go there. So experiencing China with locals is the best way to experience China to the fullest. How does it feel to study medicine in a non-English speaking country? We are taught in English, so And a lot of times, if you can't speak Chinese, we're expected to learn Chinese, expected to learn medical Chinese, but if you can't really understand it, your doctor tries to explain to you. This is why you're a student. But when you're an intern, if you cannot speak Chinese, to be honest, you're on your own. A lot of doctors will still try to explain to you, but nothing is better than getting information firsthand from the patient. So while you're a student, your doctor explains to you, and if you can speak Chinese too, you can also communicate with the patient. And during your internship period, just go home if you can't understand Chinese. Finish. Where do you want to work after you graduate? I have plans which I'm not ready to speak about yet until they are finalized. I don't want to jinx myself, but no particular place is being pointed at right now. But I have all plans, everything necessary to make it work, but I'm not ready to discuss it here on YouTube. But gradually, as we go, I'll make videos and you can see all the processes that I am making, and then finally you guys are going to know where I end up. Don't worry. How have your interactions been ever since you got to China? Did you find it difficult or easy to make friends? Personally, I find it difficult to make friends, but that's just because of my personality. I have a very high standard when it comes to who should be my friend. So for me, it is quite difficult. But if you're someone that is very friendly and interacts with, anybody, and it will be quite easy for you to make friends if you just want to be around friendly people. There are some people who are friendly, but for me, it is difficult for me to make friends, because at this point in my life, I'm looking for someone who is not just my friend, who can be my work partner, my business partner, who wants to also grow with me, who is somehow at a similar level in life, maybe slightly above or slightly below, so we can work together and grow together. I don't know if you understand what I mean. Yes, but where I am in China, the position I am, I have friends. I won't say I don't have friends. I have friends, but it is not easy for me to make friends because of the type of friends I'm looking for. But hopefully, when I leave this city or when I leave this country, I want to be positioned in a place where I'm surrounded by people who want to grow together or are at similar levels in life that I am in. Yes. Finally, I have come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any other questions, leave it in the comment section. I realize I love filming Q&A videos. Feel free to ask me any type of questions that you want, and I'll love to answer them. Please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is free. It helps my channel to grow. It tells YouTube that you're really enjoying this video, and to show my videos to more people, click the bell beside the subscribe button so you get notified, get an update, and you're actually being told that Martina has put out a new video. Okay guys, I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.